Have you ever felt like isolated or just sad or frustrated or sometimes fearful? All those emotions can be triggered by hearing loss. And that is really important for you to think about because hearing loss is hard. It affects us. It affects our relationship with others, and that can be very devastating. You know, and I'm sure there are marriages out there who would be nodding right now, like, yes, we're on the rocks, and it's very difficult right now. Or you're in a family environment and people are not talking to you, or they just say never mind, or you know, it's just very difficult, and that impacts you in terms of how you feel or your emotions. It will slap you in the face every time. So what should you do? And that is the trick of the trade. That is like the core of your hearing loss. And everybody's hearing loss is different. But to really start to turn the knob, to turn things around, it's really important to be aware and say, yes, I know that hearing loss can impact my emotions and how I feel and how I interact with others. So these are a few things, a few tips that you can do to avoid those dark moments. And one of them is, if you haven't addressed your hearing loss, it might be time to do that. So, and what do I mean by not addressing your hearing loss? One of them is not wearing hearing aids, and that will cause other health issues as well. So starting to wear hearing aids and to have a faithful and loyal and kind audiologist will be key so that you can hear and be able to interact with others and have those conversations that are important to you each day. Some people do wear hearing aids, and they'll say, Lisa, they just don't work. These hearing aids just don't work for me. And I've gone to the audiologist and nothing works. And she keeps on mentioning this thing like cochlear implants, and I don't want a hole in my head. So, yes, I've heard that before. Sometimes there comes to a point in our life where hearing aids just no longer help us. And that's a reality. We've gone from mild, and then we move into the moderate, and then we move into the severe. When you're in the severe to profound range, a lot of times hearing aids will not work anymore for you, and it just gets too difficult to understand words. So what do? Do you give up? Or do you look into other options? And one of those options are cochlear implants. They will not make a hole in your head. Trust me, I have 2 cochlear implants. I should know. So, no, if you have questions about cochlear implants and you're stuck and you're fearful about it, ask questions, especially to someone who has cochlear implants already. Ask them what the process was. Ask them about, how did they feel? What was the process like? How did they did in their life after that? Ask all the questions you need. No one can force you to do one thing or the other, but for your own sake, for your own health and your own emotional needs, ask the questions. What's going to help you? And yes, sometimes when you're going from mild to moderate and that has changed, you got to adjust those hearing aids. So, some people get hearing aids and then they never go back to the audiologist, and then they say, my hearing aids don't work. So it's like you got to follow up, just like anything, just like a brace on your shoe or an orthotic or glasses, you got to follow up. So if you have an audiologist, that audiologist will be with you always. but you got to make those appointments. You got to make those adjustments with your hearing aids so that you remain on top of things. So it is true that people can do things for you, but you also have to do things for yourself to improve the situation. And I know you can do that, but you have to convince yourself that it's worth it. And you got to be careful because hearing loss can cause anxiety and depression. Those are two things that'll hit us hard. So it's really important for you to consider that and to be willing to use hearing aids or cochlear implants. I used hearing aids for 3 years until they didn't work anymore, and then I went into cochlear implants. So, and I kept up with it because I was working, I was very active, and I wanted to remain engaged. So you have to want to remain engaged. And you might say, well, it's just no more, it's just or buts. You really have to consider, is this worth it? What do I need to do to re-engage? So consider it. What kind of things do you need to do to make improvements? So here are my tips. Follow up with your hearing aids. See if you need different hearing aids or just need maintenance of those hearing aids you already have. Make sure you let people know what is it that you need for conversation. And we'll deal with those things that'll be helpful in another video, but right now, for this video, it's your homework. So keep up with those hearing aids, see if you need any changes, and consider cochlear implants, So, and what kind of things do you need to do? So everybody is so different. So I'm just putting out those 3 so you can look at the homework you need to do. All right. So I'm hoping this video was helpful. We are kind of new here, so any likes, any subscriptions will be helpful. And if you find this channel helpful, you want a specific topic, feel free to post it down below, and I will certainly follow up. Post any questions that you need, and we'll be here for you. I'm glad you came by. This is Lisa from Hearing Loss Pathfinder. Feel free to like, to subscribe if you find this channel helpful. And again, feel free to post any questions, comments, and share your experiences. This channel is yours.